Hi, today we're going to look at red and green and red. And I just realized that I looked at red and green out here only a couple of days ago, but here it is again, but it came up in a different thought, with a different thought today. So what's the headline of the video? Practical colors. I realized today that I really like to bring color out of abstract information and make it understandable in a practical way. And I have two examples for you today with these two bottles, actually. The one that I got today as a fresh thought came from listening to a video by a man called Tony Robbins. You may have heard of him. He was talking about the way we live our life. It's a very fundamental subject. And our brain, in a way, what the function or the purpose of the brain is. And he said the brain is to keep us safe, which to me would say red. Red is survival issues. And our brain is not to make us happy. And in a way, you could say happiness is certainly an emotion, and that could be connected to the green of the heart. Although you could also say yellow is a happy color, let's face it. And he said another thing. He said that our brain is 2 million years old. Our brain is 2 million years of experience. And it's through that experience that we've learned to look for danger. Danger is also a red word. Danger in a sense of red alert or alarm or brake lights when you have to stop your car quickly. So our brain is attuned to danger because it wants to keep us alive. But he said that our brain is not really designed to make us happy, because when you're looking for danger, then of course, fear is the emotion that gets triggered with danger, which is what then gets you to act. So in a way, that attending to possibilities of danger creates a fearful mentality, and a fearful mentality keeps us closed to life, the opposite of which would be open, and green is the color of openness and expansion. Imagining a future that's better than your past. Now this brings me to the other idea I thought to share with you today, which is one I realized many years ago when I was teaching a course on numbers in Osaka, in Japan. And it was really the first time that I realized that there could be a connection between, in fact, I was teaching a course on rainbow evolution, I think. And I realized that there could be a connection between numbers and our age and the stages of our life, and that Orosoma equilibrium sequence could be teaching something much bigger than just the opportunity to look at yourself in the mirror of color and see, and see what's important for you in this moment. That there's actually a kind of a bigger teaching in the whole sequence. I spent many, many years since then unfolding and developing my understanding of that sequence to a point where now it's very full and rich. But these two bottles were the beginning of that process. And the example that came to my mind as I was teaching is this. So we're thinking about the progression through age. And I think what I said is that somewhere through our 20s, our mindset changes. And the image that came to my mind was, in fact, the way that we walk. And when we walk, and I demonstrated this in the class, I walked around in the circle of the students, and I was looking at the ground as I was walking, looking down to the ground. And I said, and this is how we often walk. People often walk looking down at the ground. You're attending to what's in front of you. And in a way, that speaks about the attitude behind, which is that you're taking care of what's in the present moment. You're not thinking about the future, or you're just looking at what needs to be done now. This footstep, is it safe? Okay. Now the alternative that came to my mind, which is the very next bottle, green over red, the image that came to my mind was looking to the horizon where the earth and the sky meet in the distance. Is it possible to walk as you look to the horizon, not down at what the next step is, but where you want to go to? That brings ideas of direction in. Green is to do with direction. You're not so interested in this next footstep, red. You're interested in where you're going, green. You put your attention on where you're going, which of course brings us back to Tony Robbins and the idea of creating a better life. You're not thinking about, yes, you have to deal with what's in the present, but you keep your attention on where you want to get to. The horizon, which is green. I think it's very beautiful. It's very short. There is one very small extra bit I'll give you, which is that I once taught a course called Alchemy of Creativity. This was with another friend of mine, Susa Smedis, who lives in Crete now. And we taught in Glastonbury. And after the course finished, we went on to Dundon Hill, which is the hill associated with Ambriel, the pink deep magenta bottle. But we came across, as synchronicity happens, we came across these people who were making a little film. And as we walked past them, they were dressed in medieval clothes, just a few people, small production. But as we walked past, they said, scene 27, take 28. Scene 27, take 28. And that course, Alchemy of Creativity, is also a course about awakening to something beyond the here and now. Because the anagram of creativity is react, create, react. Will you be reacting to what is, or will you be creating what you want? So the alchemy of creativity. From 27 to 28. From what you have to do now, which is important, but to where you want to get to, which is even more important. So that's a practical example of red and green. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you again.